Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Okay, so for years, we've been hearing the buzz.
Right.
The promises, sometimes the outright skepticism about self-driving cars, that whole robotaxi dream.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, or seemingly always just around the corner.
Exactly. Well, today we're going to dive into something pretty significant happening right now. Tesla, never far from the headlines, they've actually kind of quietly taken a big step, launched a limited pilot, an autonomous ride-hailing service down in Austin, Texas.
That's right, and it's quiet, but it's potentially huge. So in this deep dive, we're really going to unpack what this first step actually looks like on the ground.
And Tesla's approach, too, right? Because it's unique, definitely controversial sometimes.
Absolutely. That vision-only strategy, we'll get into that. And then look at the big picture, the massive long-term vision they have.
Look, also the challenges. We have to talk about the roadblocks, because there are definitely still some big ones.
Oh, for sure. Significant ones.
So, okay, a pilot program in Austin. Why should you, listening right now, really care?
Well, because this isn't just, a few Teslas driving around.
Right.
This is really a key moment, maybe at an inflection point, for understanding how AI is starting to reshape, well, everything. Urban mobility, for starters.
And even how we think about owning a car, right? Personal car ownership itself.
Exactly. And potentially even jobs, the future of work. It connects to so much. It really does impact you and the future of how we all get around.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's unpack this Austin pilot. So the buzz was quiet, you said, but the implications aren't. What does this rollout actually look like?
Yeah, it really wasn't the typical big splashy announcement, more of a gradual thing. Mid-2025, they rolled out this very limited pilot.
How limited are we talking?
We're talking a small fleet, just Tesla Model Ys. And operating in a really specific geofenced zone in South Austin.
Okay.
And the really striking part, the autonomy level. These cars are moving fully autonomously. There is literally no one behind the steering wheel while it's in motion.
Wow. Okay, that is a big step compared to some other tests we've seen. So what about safety then? If there's no driver, what's the protocol?
Yeah, that's the critical question. And what they're doing is, it's interesting. While no one's driving, there is a Tesla safety operator.
Okay.
But they're in the front passenger seat for every ride.
Got it. So monitoring, ready to intervene, but not actively driving.
Exactly. It seems designed to, gather that crucial real-world data for the AI, feed the beast, so to speak.
Right.
While still keeping a human in the loop for safety and oversight.
Makes sense. And how does it work for users?
Right now, it's offered to just select users, like beta testers, basically.
Yeah.
Fixed fare. And the operating hours are pretty limited to daylight, early evening.
So avoiding trickier conditions for now.
Definitely. They're also strategically staying away from, highways, the airport, really complex intersections, at least in this first phase.
Sounds very cautious. Controlled environment.
Yeah.
So why Austin? Beyond just maybe favorable regulations, is there something specific about Austin that made it the right starting point?
Yeah, it's a mix of things. Those helpful local regulations are definitely part of it, yes. But it's also, I think, about wanting to iterate quickly.
Okay.
Austin's a real urban environment. It's growing fast. It presents, diverse traffic situations, but maybe without the extreme complexity of, say, San Francisco right off the bat.
So a good testing ground. Complex enough, but not overwhelming initially.
Exactly. Allows them to test the boundaries of their AI mobility kind of methodically in a city where they already have a pretty significant presence, with Gigafactory Texas nearby.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so that brings us to the core of Tesla's strategy, the thing that really sets them apart and, like you said, makes it controversial.
The vision-only approach.
Yeah, no lidar, no radar, unlike pretty much everyone else playing seriously in this space. They are betting everything on cameras and their neural network.
It's a fundamental bet, really. It's not just a tech choice. It's almost philosophical. Tesla argues, that's how humans drive primarily with vision.
Mostly, yeah.
So they believe by training their system on just insane amounts of visual data, billions of miles collected from all their cars out there.
Their whole global fleet.
Right. They think they can teach the AI to navigate just like a person, But, the goal is eventually even better, safer.
And the potential upside is huge, cost-wise.
Oh, massive. LiDAR and radar are expensive. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars per vehicle, typically. Getting rid of that hardware would be a huge cost advantage if they can make vision work reliably enough.
If they can. Because that's the flip side, right? It introduces potential failure points, doesn't it? Especially when things get tricky.
Absolutely. Low visibility fog, heavy rain, snow, or really complex, busy traffic scenes. That's where other sensors, especially LiDAR, give you that precise 3D map of the world, regardless of light. It provides redundancy.
Redundancy that vision alone doesn't have.
Exactly. So it's definitely a high-risk approach. High reward if they pull it off, but relying purely on AI perfection. That's a big...
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
It really is. And how do they answer the critics? The ones who say, look, it doesn't matter how much data you have, you fundamentally lack that backup, that redundancy. For those edge cases, those really bad conditions, is data alone truly enough?
Well, their core argument comes back to machine learning, really. They believe their full self-driving or FSD software will just keep improving, exponentially almost.
Because it keeps learning from more data.
Exactly. More data, more training, refining the AI models. It's this belief in the power of continuous learning and the sheer scale of their fleet providing that data. They're basically banking on the AI getting smarter and smarter, fast enough to handle everything.
It's a bold bet on the power of AI improvement curves.
Yeah.
So, okay, this Austin pilot, it's limited now, but it's clearly not the end goal. Connect this to the bigger picture for us. This is the first step towards that grander Tesla network vision, right?
Precisely. This is the first real-world taste of it. We've heard them talk for years about, a custom-built cybercab.
Right, the one with no steering wheel, no pedals.
Yeah, designed purely for driverless operation. And even concepts like a robovan, like an autonomous minibus for groups, or maybe cargo.
So purpose-built autonomous vehicles.
But maybe even more transformative, in the near term at least, is the idea for existing Tesla owners.
The Tesla network concept.
Exactly. The idea that you, as an owner, could enroll your car into this network. And when you're not using it, when you're at work, overnight, whatever your car could be out there operating as an autonomous taxi.
Earning you money.
Earning you passive income. Yeah, that's the pitch. It completely changes the economics of car ownership.
It really does. It turns your car from, typically a depreciating asset, a liability, really.
Right, into something that could potentially generate revenue. It's kind of like the Airbnb model, but applying it to cars potentially on a massive global scale.
Creating this huge distributed fleet using cars people already own. That's radically different from how Waymo or Cruise operate.
Totally different. A very scalable, potentially much lower capital-intensive way to build a ride-hailing network, if it works and people sign up.
It sounds almost like science fiction, the stuff we've been promised for decades. Your car paying for itself while it sits in the driveway.
Yeah.
Well, it's not sitting in the driveway.
Right. Well, it's out working.
But okay, let's bring it back to Earth. Despite the promise, what are the really big hurdles, the roadblocks Tesla still has to clear to make this widespread?
Oh, there are several big ones. Regulation is huge.
Yeah, always.
The legal framework for autonomous vehicles is still, a patchwork quilt across the U.S., let alone globally. And even in Texas, where they're starting, there are new regulations coming that Tesla will need to meet, specific safety and operational standards.
And are local officials on board?
There's definitely scrutiny. Lawmakers have voiced concerns, about safety, about transparency, about whether the tech is really ready, especially when you start taking the driver completely out of the loop in real-world traffic. Public trust is absolutely massive here, too.
You have to convince people it's safe.
Yeah.
Beyond regulation, what about the tech itself? What are the specific technical mountains left to climb, especially with that vision-only approach?
technically the biggest challenge is proving conclusively that vision only can scale safely beyond these, carefully chosen pilot zones in good weather.
Right. Real world is messy.
Incredibly messy. Think about heavy rain, snow, fog, like we mentioned, complex construction zones that pop up overnight, totally unpredictable things happening on the road.
Stuff happens.
Exactly. And no camera-based system to date has really demonstrated that kind of ironclad reliability in every possible condition, everywhere, without the backup from other sensors. Proving that level of generalizability, that's the massive technical hurdle for widespread adoption.
Okay, so stepping back then, this limited Austin launch, it's not a failure or a retreat. It sounds like a very deliberate, calculated first move into this autonomous race.
I think that's right. It's their entry point. You see competitors like Waymo, like Cruise, they've often taken a different path.
More methodical, city by city.
Yeah, often using lidar, relying heavily on incredibly detailed, pre-made HD maps of the operating areas, a lot of groundwork before launching.
Tesla's doing something different.
Fundamentally different. They're betting on the AI, fueled by that massive amount of real-world driving data from their customer fleet, to eventually learn and adapt to leapfrog the need for those detailed maps and maybe even the other sensors.
So it might take longer to get that AI perfect.
It very well might. It relies on achieving that AI breakthrough across all conditions. But if they succeed,
And the payoff could be enormous.
potentially game-changing, redefining not just transport, but like we said, ownership, maybe even labor, logistics. The ripple effects in an AI-driven economy could be profound.
So the next few years, they're going to be absolutely critical. We'll really see whether this unconventional vision-only bet that Tesla's making.
Whether it finally delivers on this dream we've been hearing about for so long.
Yeah.
And that, it leaves us with a really interesting thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Okay.
What does this quiet start in Austin really signal for the future? If Tesla's vision plays out, if owners do start enrolling their cars in this Tesla network widely, earning passive income, what does that actually mean?
What does it mean for the idea of owning a car at all?
Right. Or for how we travel in cities? Could it completely change urban landscapes?
And think bigger, too. What about jobs? Logistics, deliveries, the whole shape of the economy driven by AI.
Exactly. What new opportunities might pop up?
Yeah.
But also, what unforeseen challenges could this bring into our daily lives? It's a lot to think about.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.